our partner webinar series. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about SAP Business Intelligence on AWS. My name is Travis Higgins and I'm part of the business development team here at Amazon Web Services. And I'm going to be joined by Puneet Chopra, who is the Director of Analytics for YASH Technologies, an AWS and SAP partner. So before we get started, let's go through a couple of quick housekeeping items. So as always, your lines are all going to be on mute. So if you do have questions, please type them in the questions section in the chat box. And this webinar will be recorded and sent out to all of the participants on today's webinar, as well as posted on the AWS Partner Webinar website. So today we're going to quickly review Amazon Web Services and our platform. We'll talk a little bit about our relationship that we have with SAP. We'll go through some of the specifics for AWS and SAP HANA. And then I'm going to hand it over to Puneet, and he's going to talk to you a little bit more about running SAP Business Intelligence products on AWS and some of the success that they've had with their customers. So let's start off by talking a little bit about the AWS platform. So Amazon Web Services is a globally distributed cloud computing platform which we offer to our customers in the form of pay-as-you-go services. Now we have over 40 different significant services that we offer to customers today, and we group them in the categories that you see here. So we have compute services like Amazon EC2, which are virtual machines or virtual servers that we offer to customers, and they simply pay by the hour for the exact amount of compute that they need. We have storage services like Amazon S3 or Simple Storage Service, which is an object-based storage service in which customers simply pay by the amount of data in which they store. We have database services like Amazon Redshift, which is a fully managed, scalable, petabyte scale data warehouse solution, where again, customers simply pay for exactly what they use. Now in addition to that, we have a number of different application and deployment and administration services that we offer to make it easier for customers to build, migrate, and manage applications running on our cloud computing platform. Now this platform, as I mentioned, is delivered globally. And today, we're servicing over 1 million active customers in over 190 different countries. And when you think about the AWS infrastructure globally, there's really 3 concepts that you want to keep in mind. There's the concepts of regions, availability zones, and edge locations. Now, regions are high-level collections of AWS resources, and we have 11 regions around the world today in places like North America, Europe, South America, China, Japan, Singapore, and Australia. Within those regions, we have what are called availability zones. Now, you can think of an availability zone as a data center, but actually behind the scenes, it's typically multiple data centers in which we put together and present to customers as one single resource. And today, we have 30 availability zones around the world that customers and partners can choose to deploy AWS resources in. Now, in addition to that, we have 53 edge locations, and edge locations are primarily used for our Route 53 service, which is our hosted DNS service, as well as CloudFront, which is our content delivery network. Now, a question that I often get asked is how big is the AWS infrastructure? How many customers can you handle? Questions in regards to the size of the infrastructure you're dealing with. So to give you some context, if you think about Amazon.com, back in the early 2000s when it was a $7 billion global enterprise, servicing millions of customers and had thousands of employees spread around the world. Every single day, AWS adds enough new server capacity to support that Amazon.com business back in the early 2000s. So every single day, we're adding enough infrastructure to support that business. So that gives you an idea of the size and the scale of the infrastructure that you're working with. Now this global footprint is one of the main reasons that customers have told us AWS is set apart from anything they've used in the past. In addition to that, it's also the ecosystem of thousands of different system integrators and ISVs that we work with, and partners like YASH Technologies. It's our pricing philosophy. We've actually reduced our prices 49 times proactively since offering our first services in 2006. It's our pace of innovation and the breadth and the depth of the offering. Again, we have over 40 significant services that we offer to customers. Now, I would say the number one thing that we hear from customers is the reason that AWS is set apart from anything they've seen in the past is really our experience. So if you think of Amazon as a company, you know, we've always been a technology company. We simply just chose to use that technology expertise initially to build out our retail business, which was Amazon.com. Now, after years of running that retail business, we really understood that we had developed a core competency for building scalable, fault-tolerant, highly reliable data centers and data center and cloud infrastructure. And so in 2006, we decided to embark on a new mission and service a new set of customers, which were developers and businesses, and launched AWS. Now, since launching our first services in 2006 to nearly 9 years later and where we are today, anybody at AWS will tell you we are much, much better at it now than we were when we first started. That experience and that we've gained working with customers in this market is something that you just can't replicate. You kind of have to go through it. There is no compression algorithm for experience in that time. So big reason why customers choose AWS. Now that experience is not only with the actual platform, but it's also with security. So AWS provides the same familiar approaches to security that companies have been using for decades. And when running applications on AWS, we operate in what we call a shared security model. So in this model, AWS takes responsibility for securing the infrastructure, and our customers and partners work to secure the actual applications. Now, AWS works with a number of different third parties to validate our infrastructure against industry-leading standards that our customers are asking for. So standards like HIPAA, PCI, SOC 1, 2, and 3, ISO, FedRAMP, FISMA, and others. Now, the nice thing is that when AWS works to certify against these standards, we are working to certify, for the most part, with these standards, the entire platform. So customers and partners have the benefit of running their applications on an infrastructure platform that is adherent to all these different standards. And because of that, we often hear from customers they feel they can actually increase their level of security by running their applications on AWS. So now that we've talked a little bit about the platform, let's talk a little bit about a relationship specifically with SAP. So SAP has been an AWS customer since 2008. And AWS has been a certified global technology partner of SAP since 2011. Now, over the past 4 years, we've been working closely with SAP to certify the bulk of their offering to run in production on AWS. So this includes solutions like Business Warehouse and Business Objects, RDS solutions developed, Business All-in-One, Business One, Business Suite, HANA, and others. Now, one of the key reasons that we see more customers moving production workloads for SAP of all types onto our platform really is the breadth of supported applications that AWS and SAP offer on AWS. It's the ability for customers to match the specific SAP workload to the right AWS instance based on the actual compute needs. So we have a wide range of instances that are certified to run applications like HANA or Business Objects or Business Suite. Customers tell us that they run their SAP applications on the platform because it reduces their costs. And AWS has actually worked with a third-party firm called VMS based in Germany to calculate out the actual reduction in total cost when running SAP specifically on our platform. And they found you can save up to 71% by running your production SAP applications on AWS. Now, the ability for customers to be more flexible, to match the right pricing construct with a specific need, to put the right SAP workload and match that with the right AWS instance. These abilities are the big reason why customers choose to run their SAP workloads on AWS, not just reducing their costs. It's that flexibility and agility that they gain by having the compute needs at their fingertips. Now, when we're working with SAP software on AWS, we do operate in a bring-your-own software licensing model. So customers have the ability to port existing licenses that they use today or procure new licenses through the same exact channels that they do today, whether that's from SAP directly or through their partners. Now, the only exception to that is we do have some SAP offerings that are on the AWS Marketplace, in which you can combine AWS infrastructure with SAP licensing. And SAP has the Cloud Appliance Library, which does similarly allows AWS and SAP software to be combined. Now, one of the big workloads that we're seeing a lot of popularity with is running SAP HANA on AWS, and especially for different business intelligence applications. So we've worked with SAP to certify a number of different configurations of SAP HANA to run on our platform. So data mart applications for analytics, native HANA applications, Business Suite, Business Warehouse, and BPC. Business Suite, these are all, and Business Objects, these are all certified to run with HANA on top of AWS. And for Business Warehouse specifically, we can actually support a scale-out configuration where we can support up to 4 terabytes of data in memory. Now, I'm going to hand it over to Puneet, and he's going to talk to you a little bit more about their experience of running SAP and business intelligence products on AWS. Puneet?
Great. Thank you, Travis. My name is Puneet Chopra. As Travis had mentioned, I'm a Director of Analytics at YASH Technologies. Just want to spend a couple minutes giving a quick company overview of YASH Technologies. So we're about 4,000 employees, founded in 1996. We have 27 offices worldwide. When we serve over 300 mid-market and large enterprise customers globally. We are across industry, so there's not just one industry of focus. We are across the verticals. And as you can see, we are an SAP Gold partner, as well as an Amazon Web Services reseller. I also just wanted to highlight, before we get into details of some of the customer success stories, is that we will be at the ASUG Analytics and Business Objects Conference in Austin, Texas, next week, August 31st to September 2nd. So we do encourage you to come meet us. And at the end of this webinar, Travis and I will give you our contact information and would love to meet you and talk about a little bit more of a detail of what's been going on in our customers, and as well as understand potentially your need to move to AWS. So obviously everyone here has heard of the cloud and trying to understand how to get on this cloud movement. So what I wanted just to highlight here is that SAP specifically is moving everything and all their leading innovations to the cloud. Driving speed to value and shaping all the future landscapes is on the cloud. Now, many companies these days are all on-premise, and the future is definitely going to be looking like a hybrid landscape. That is one thing that we are definitely noticing within our in our customer base, is that customers are trying to understand how and when they should move to the cloud. And I think the time right now, the time is now. You're definitely not behind right now, but everything for the future is going on the cloud. One thing that we've also learned is that there's no two organizations' journeys that are the same. Everyone kind of follows a different type of journey, but one thing that we have noticed in consistency is that a lot of our customers are definitely moving to the cloud. Now, I do want to spend some time on a specific customer success story, SNF Flowquip. They are headquartered just outside of Atlanta in Georgia with 11 additional locations. They're a manufacturer of chemical preparation and dosing equipment systems. And we actually helped implement not only a BI solution on AWS, but we actually implemented core SAP all-in-one solution as well, specifically for manufacturing. So let's get into what the BI scope was for SNF Flowquip. The key thing was there were 3 key areas of focus: COPA, controlling and profitability analysis, project systems, and plant maintenance. So those were the 3 kind of main focuses that SNF wanted to really focus on, getting their users better access to those domains of data using analytics, and specifically around visualization. Now, Business Objects has plenty of front-end tools such as Web Intelligence, Crystal, Lumira, Analysis for Office, and those were the tools that were part of the BI scope for deployment. One of the key requirements was really to establish something very quick and scalable. Those are kind of the key requirements from a BI perspective, which generally are fairly consistent with a lot of other customers that we have engaged with as well. So some of the key IT challenges when we started beginning the project and started planning and trying to determine the best solution for SNF, and we sat down and tried to understand from the business and leadership what are some of the key IT challenges that SNF is facing. Some of the things that, that were highlighted was that the IT team was spending a very significant amount of time in running and managing just the ERP transactional system as well as the reporting system. It consumed lots of time and resources just for maintenance. And when new innovations and new requests were coming in, sometimes it would require new hardware, and that took weeks and sometimes even months to procure. There were increased, the IT budgets were becoming increased, and there were lower operational efficiency. The cost of the hardware and the large capex that were associated with this also posed as a key IT challenge as well. The fourth one here, the difficulty responding to fast-changing technology, was a very key point that was brought up many times as we began planning this customer, because again, they felt that they didn't want to fall too far behind on the latest and greatest, and they wanted a solution that would be able to be scalable and adjust to kind of the fast-changing technology that not only SAP has, but other technologies as well. From a BI focus and front end, it was an outdated user experience, and that's where the BI platform from SAP, the Business Objects tools, would definitely help with that. And then the data center operations, it's not what the company does. It's not the core area of expertise, so that was a challenge as well. So when we took a step back, understood the IT challenges, understanding kind of the pain points, YASH suggested and recommended the cloud solution leveraging AWS as the recommended solution. Now, the AWS global infrastructure and all the locations that are provided was better for the lower latency and hence resulting in better performance and greater user experience. The application deployment started very quickly, very minimal effort, very minimal cost to start, and the project started very, very quickly because we didn't have to wait. As mentioned earlier, sometimes the hardware was taking 2 months or more for SNF, and with AWS and having the global infrastructure in place, it was able to begin very, very quickly, and we could get the project started in a very timely manner. So really, to address the challenges of reducing the costs and efforts in maintaining the complex data center operation, as SNF had indicated, the AWS and YASH experience in this domain enabled SNF to execute a very complex and crucial project very quickly, and really maximizing the investments and resources as well. The lack of skilled in-house IT team and infrastructure to handle the project also was addressed by teaming up with us, YASH Technologies, as a one-stop shop. We were able to provide all the services across domains, and also because of our expertise in the several industries, we were able to provide subject matter experts as well within the industry itself. So one project scenario that came up as we were during the implementation is that a requirement came to move the actual business objects and BW server onto 2 different instances. So when we looked at, okay, what would happen if we had an on-premise infrastructure scenario? We would have to plan and purchase the hardware, and we'd have to actually set up the systems in order to adapt to this new requirement that came in. And in reality, is if we were to look at the on-premise solution, it would definitely take a few weeks and months, and just to set up the system would take a few weeks also. With the AWS infrastructure scenario, when we looked at that and with everything in place, we literally had both systems up and running in less than a week. So a major, major benefit, again, as part of the project and as part of moving forward for SNF. And when we're looking kind of overall from a BI footprint as well, the key of starting a project like this very quickly is when you're looking at BI, everyone is trying to get the data and trying to make informed business decisions very quickly. So in order to do that, not only from a speed perspective, but to have a quicker deployment, you're able to get to that data much more quicker just because it's taking less time to actually complete a project. And a lot of that is because of the actual procurement of the hardware and how fast it takes to actually get an AWS system and platform up and running and configured, ready to use. So just a very high-level technical landscape. We did include kind of all the servers here. So we had 9 environments, not only on the SAP ERP side and BW side, but also the business object side. So I did want to highlight this just to show that, as mentioned earlier, everyone's journey on the cloud is a little bit different. So you can use, as an example, BI, and we've had this with a lot of our customers as well, using BI as kind of a stepping stone into the cloud. However, this customer, SNF, ended up having all environments deployed on AWS. So they had a very good comfort level to move to AWS. So some of the web services, Amazon Web Services, platforms that Travis had indicated above, were the EC2, EBS, VPC, S3, Snapshot, AMI, and AWS support were all included within the scope of this implementation at SNF. So let's talk about the customer benefits. So we were improved the ability to process and deliver the data to users, overall cost savings in the implementation, and just regular maintenance, ease of management and support requirements, and scalability and room to grow to systems for business success. As you know, technology is always moving forward. SAP is always innovating new technologies and new functionality, and a lot of this is all done now on the cloud. And having a scalable solution allows you to really scale up and down to meet the needs of the business, and that's what we've been noticing, not only for this customer, but for other customers as well. So we've literally been able to, you can add application service to accelerate, as example, nightly batch processing or even month-end closing, and that just shows you the flexibility and scalability that solution on AWS can help provide. Agility and speed, as Travis had talked about earlier, also on the security, is that it's secure and durable as well. So you can see a lot of customer benefits that SNF faced. I think the key things were, key takeaways from an SNF perspective were the project was able to start very quickly, the BI solution was able to be up and running, customers were now able to, the customer is now able to make more informed decisions in a more timely manner. And obviously cost savings being a very big factor as well. I did want to talk about a few other customer engagements that YASH is currently involved in with AWS. We actually worked very closely with the leading food manufacturer and actually did a pure migration of a BI platform onto AWS. Now, obviously, the benefits of this were that we were able to provide them now with the AWS platform that's scalable, and we were able to do this very, very quickly and very seamlessly. So there was no impact to the current BI platform that was in place and the current day-to-day business activities from a BI perspective. We also have worked very closely with a leading direct marketing company and focused on customer sentiment analysis, leveraging AWS as a platform. So this is a lot of data that customers are trying to transact against, and this was actually unstructured data such as Twitter data, Facebook type of data, and we were doing customer sentiment analysis, and we were able to leverage the AWS platform and other AWS solutions in order to implement this for this company as well. And then we also are currently working with concept of a proof of concept, and this is really to validate that the use of SAP Business Objects with AWS is the right solution. So sometimes we have noticed a little bit of hesitancy from customers to move to AWS, and what we've introduced is a proof of concept model to allow customers to view it before you kind of make that big overall decision on moving forward with this. And this has proved to be very valuable for a lot of our customers. A lot of our customers want to have that look and feel, kind of try it out, and to see how scalable it is, kind of go by use case, and kind of grow this. And we've been involved in not just this proof of concept, but quite a few proof of concepts as well that has allowed the customers to kind of see and feel the business objects solution on AWS. So as you can see, a lot of our customers, specifically around BI, are very, very curious on how YASH technologies, along with AWS, can help. And it's been, extremely, extremely positive from our end on the engagements that we've had with our customers so far. And we see this definitely growing and being very, very beneficial. So why do customers choose the cloud? There's more of a predictable monthly cost, definitely cost efficiency. As we talked about earlier, a faster project startup and delivery, secure data center facilities. You're going to have access to experienced team processes and procedures, ability to immediately adapt to business changes. And again, I think this is a very key takeaway. As we know, businesses change. We want to adapt quickly. The AWS platform allows you to do that. As mentioned earlier, scale up, scale down. The updates and backups and monitoring and upgrades, these are all included within the AWS platform, because now it's a hosted cloud environment. These are all going to be there as part of the cloud solution for you. And then no worries of purchasing or maintaining additional hardware for new software. If something comes up, you can just scale up and down based on the size and the environment that you have in place right now. So that was just a brief overview of some of the customer success stories that YASH has had with our customers with AWS. I did want to mention, as I did earlier, that we will be at the ASUG SAP Analytics and Business Objects Conference, August 31st to September 2nd. I did include Travis's and my contact information, so we're definitely, if you are attending, please do stop by the AWS booth, where YASH will also be there. And we would definitely, like I said, love to talk to you a little bit more, kind of explain to you a little bit more of our customer experience, and talk to you a little bit how you can move forward with the cloud journey on AWS.